Hey folks, here at OS Reviews, you're watching our hands-on review of the Zhiyun Smooth Q. This is a 3-axis smartphone gimbal or stabilizer. As smartphone cameras have been getting progressively better and better, replacing traditional point-and-shoots and camcorders, the only problem remains that video footage tends to be quite shaky, especially if we walk around and are recording vlogs of city life. Well, a gimbal really helps mitigate that problem, resulting in a very smooth action that seems like your footage is recorded, let's say on a crane or on something of a more professional caliber. So it's a pretty cool gift to consider, and the Smooth Q by Zhiyun retails for under $100, making it one of the more affordable options from this specific brand. The packaging here is pretty simple. It does include a hard shell carrying case in the box, which is actually a pretty nice gift, as well as a micro USB cable for charging. And of course we have just the gimbal itself, which looks like this. It's a pretty compact unit, and it's about the same size as a selfie stick once it's fully retracted. Alright, so taking a quick look at the design of this gimbal, it does offer built-in Bluetooth. So there's a companion app that you can download for iOS or Android, offers some advanced features such as object and face tracking. It's actually very cool, and it actually works pretty well. You can mount the gimbal onto a tripod so it stays in one place, and afterwards you can tap to focus on someone's face, and they can slowly walk around a room and it will keep their face in focus 360 degrees. Using the gimbal is pretty simple. Just attach the smartphone again using these levers. It clamps into place, and you can see right now since it's turned off, all of the motors are basically dangling off and we don't have any resistance or hold to the phone. But what we have to do is tap on the shutter key for a few seconds until you see this blinking LED, and afterwards it's going to automatically align itself. It can rotate with sudden movements and it will still turn, because right now I don't have the position lock activated. You can turn that on so that it stays in just one spot, but right now it's kind of able to still follow my path, although it goes very smoothly. There are two apps you can find in the Play Store. One is called Zhiyun Assistant, one is called ZY Play, and they have very similar functionality. Here I can just tap to connect using Bluetooth, and once I'm connected, I can take a look at library of videos I've recorded using this app. I can also take a look at my system profile. Tapping on the plus key will instantly launch into either the gallery or into the video recording mode that will open up the camera and begin recording. Under control, I can also change this so it becomes a lock mode. It will hold this position, so now even as I'm going left and right, it's not going to pan slowly to match that action. It's going to hopefully remain in one spot. As you can see here, it may get a little bit jumpy as your wrist is doing some crazy actions here. And in the ZY Play app, this is where we can take a look at the object tracking. Now tap, let's say, on this particular key here, so that's going to allow me to drag on a object to keep it within frame. So I'm going to drag on the kind of door frame here. So even as I'm panning around, the camera will try to move so that it keeps on tracking this one object. So if you don't want to activate this anymore, you can just tap on it once more so it exits this tracking mode. And again, if you put this on a tripod, it's actually a bit more apparent, just because it does a great job. Again, even if you're walking around, let's say a stage, and you're performing something like that, it keeps one person in focus. Some of the menus are still in Chinese though, so the app isn't 100% polished. Hopefully we'll see some more updates as they roll along. And down below here, I can also change, again, slow motion, time lapse, moving time lapse, which are all things that you can access. Again, set this onto a tripod, leave it in one place. It can even do, let's say, object recognition as it's capturing a time lapse, which is actually very cool. Additional camera settings such as flash, anti-shake, color, grids, things like that. As you saw from our video clips, the overall performance is excellent, and you can dramatically improve the camcording capabilities of your smartphone with a gimbal like this. As a whole, again, battery life is excellent. I didn't really need to worry about it when I was out and about recording video and footage and testing this thing out. And also the apps, like I said, were both very intuitive as well as easy to use. Again, it does make a dramatic difference, especially compared to even EIS or electronic image stabilization built onto a lot of mid-end phones. But with something like this, the video footage just seems much more natural. It doesn't have that artificial jelly-like effect, which you'll tend to see. So really, this is an excellent gadget to consider, just I would say gimbals in general, not necessarily only the Smooth Q, although the Smooth Q works very well. Its shortcomings would be maybe a slightly more flimsy construction that's made primarily out of plastic. Again, it's something that's great to play around with, as well as can be a more serious photography tool for camera enthusiasts. So thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews. That's been our hands-on review of the incredibly cool Zhiyun Smooth Q 3-axis smartphone stabilizer.